Good morning and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, July 12th. And it's going to be a nice day out for much of the day, but then we do have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. And some of those could be strong to severe, especially late this afternoon, but more so for tonight. And then another round of pretty strong storms as a cold front approaches for the day on Wednesday. And again, some of those could be on the severe side. So I would not be surprised over the next couple of days that part or much of the area could go under some sort of a weather watch during the later afternoon and evening hours when peak heating will be at its highest. If we look at the headlines, again, hot and humid with storms over the next 48 hours. And if we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 83, the normal low is 58. And if we look at the conditions around the area yesterday, you can see highs basically in the mid 80s to upper 80s down in Blissfield. And Newaygo with a big winter. And again, we forecast most of that storm activity to be mainly across the western half of the area. And Newaygo picked up a third of an inch of rain, 3/100 of an inch in Middleton, 2/100 of an inch at Lansing. And a renegade shower gave St. Thomas a little bit of measurable rainfall, and that's now 5 days in a row. If we look at the conditions around the area this morning, very warm out there. Temperatures in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees, and you can see across the Great Lakes, again, with the southerly wind, bringing that moisture right up in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's what's going to help feed the fuel for thunderstorms as some frontal boundaries get closer to the area. Temperatures very warm this morning in the 70s, and more importantly, if we look at the dew point map, you can see temperatures well into the 60s for dew points and into the 70 area as well. So that is some very New Orleans type steamy air that's coming into the Great Lakes. And again, as the cold front slowly begins to get closer to the area, we'll see more in the way of thunderstorms increase, especially beginning later this afternoon, but more so for tonight into Wednesday night. If we take a look at the radar, you can see some of them showers and thunderstorms off to our west. And again, those will die out this morning, then redevelop this afternoon. And that's when we have our chances of some of our thunderstorms to begin with the redevelopment here as we get into the afternoon hours. If we look at the moisture around the area, the MAC area, you can see we're at 110% of normal for the month of July, thanks to that one system. But again, still very, very dry. Look at St. Thomas, only 38% of the normal moisture for the 2 months plus 12 days here as we begin July. They're in very, very dry condition, very bad shape over there. And even in areas like Breckenridge, down only about 50 to 60% of normal. So very dry conditions. We can still use some follow-up rains, and I do think we're going to get them. And then I think we have another system as we get towards the weekend that may bring us some more rain as well. If we look at the national weather map, you can see low pressure off to our southwest to the northwest, and we got a cold front that's going to be slowly impeding on this area, very steamy air out ahead of it. And again, that's going to be the catalyst to touch off some pretty good thunderstorms as we get into later this afternoon. And you can see by tomorrow morning, a chance of strong to severe thunderstorms will be creeping into the state. Again, that cold front still well off to our west with a nice southerly feed of moisture, help feeding all this moisture that we expect. Again, I think most areas will pick up between a ½ inch and an inch of rain, with locally much heavier amounts in and around the areas that get the heaviest thunderstorms. And if we look at the front on Thursday, just now coming into the state, so until that front passes, a chance of showers or thunder showers. So I think most areas have a really good shot at getting pretty decent measurable rainfall. And again, I think about a ½ inch to an inch looks most likely. If we look at the WPC and what they forecast of rainfall amounts to be, you can see very generous amounts all the way from the Great Lakes back into the Missouri area. And again, they could get some very excessive rains out in that area, but for us, looks like some very beneficial rains here coming up over the next 72 hours. As far as severe weather for today, day one, you can see where most of the MAC area is in the marginal risk, all but the southeast part of the state and southwest Ontario, with slight risk well off to our southwest. But by tomorrow, that slight risk now comes into southwest lower Michigan, and the entire area will be under a marginal risk for severe storms. Would not be surprised to see this slight risk moved a little bit farther north into the state. And again, I think the best chance of seeing severe thunderstorm watches and that activity is going to be tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. So we'll keep an eye on things as far as that goes. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.